Today I am going to fill you in on a little secret. I am going to tell you the best personal growth goal you can possibly have. This goal is going to lead you to the fulfilling life that you were meant to live. Yes, it's that powerful. But seriously, it is a mindset that I'm teaching my kids. And as we go through this video, I will tell you why I'm teaching them this mindset, and I'll give you 3 reasons why I think you should adopt this mindset. And of course, you've probably already guessed what I'm talking about. The best personal growth goal is to be number one at everything all the time, right? No, it's not. But that's what we are taught by society. And if you think about it, we are taught this from a very young age because right away our parents start bragging about us when we start walking and talking that we're the first to walk, we're the first to talk, we're the first to sit up, whatever it is. And then we get into school and we are given gold stars and we're given blue ribbons for being number one. And then as we go on, we are ranked within our class. And if we are number one in our class, we get to be valedictorian, which is huge. And then as we go on into the working world, we're also recognized for being number one by being given the best office, the corner office, being the best parking spot, whatever it is. So throughout our lives, this is reinforced in our day-to-day lives that we should be number one. And of course, being recognized for your achievements is not a bad thing, but what is bad is the comparison and judgment that come along with that. And it's really hard to balance the scales because what happens is society puts these accolades on one side of the scale, and then the other side of the scale is us, judging and comparing ourselves against everyone else, trying to get this side, the accolades, up. But it's really hard to balance those two sides. And we're supposed to celebrate our victories without becoming too proud, without feeling guilty about our victories, and without worrying that whatever we've earned or whatever success we've achieved will be taken away from us. And we're also supposed to be able to applaud other people for their accomplishments without becoming jealous or envious. So that's all a really tall order. So today we're going to talk about the solution. And the solution is to focus our effort on others. And this is how we're going to balance the scales. Of course, we're going to work toward realizing our full potential, but we're not going to do it for fame and fortune. We're going to do it to serve others so that we can serve others in the best way that we can. And so that if we take care of ourselves, we have love to give to people that we care about and to give to others. But before we can focus on serving others, we need to adopt a new mindset. Not the we're number one mindset that society has taught us. We are going to adopt the we're number two mindset. And this is what I've been working on with my kids. What I've been teaching them. And it started out as a complete joke. So how it started was my stepson plays hockey and his team plays in quite a few tournaments, and they had been coming in second in a lot of those tournaments. And there was one I didn't go to. My husband called and said, yeah, we came in second again. And I knew when they got home my stepson was going to be a little disappointed because he is very competitive, especially when it comes to hockey. So I was trying to lighten the mood, and when they walked in, I was like, we're number two, we're number two, we're number two. And it didn't go over so well. And if you're wondering, I got that from the Emoji Movie. I stole that one. There's a scene where the poop emoji and his son are like coming out of the bathroom, and I don't remember why, but they're chanting, we're number two. Get it? Poop emoji, number two. So, okay, these are the kind of jokes I enjoy. But, so it started out as a complete joke, but then he wasn't biting, so I started trying to sell the idea that number two, or being second, is actually better than being first. And as I started trying to sell it, I actually started kind of believing it a little bit. And so this has actually kind of become a mantra in our house, even though I'm kind of the only one who ever says it, but still. That's the only mantra that matters, right? Is the one that I'm saying. But so I'm still trying to instill this in my kids because I think this mindset can help them balance the scales a little bit between accolades and ego and balance that out a little bit. And it's behind this mindset is the belief that you should always strive to do your best. And whether that's number two, number three, number 203, doesn't matter. But you should always strive to do your best and not necessarily strive to be number one. And I've come to believe that this is the best possible personal growth goal that you can have, to be number two in everything that you do. But it doesn't really necessarily have to be number two. That's just a fun little way to say it. The point is that you're not striving to be number one. You're striving to do your very best. Of course, this sounds like a great saying to put on a motivational poster or something, but let's get into the real reasons that you should adopt this mindset, the word number two mindset. So the first reason is it will help you become a gracious loser. And this is a virtue that's often overlooked in our word number one society. And of course, when you lose lose out is what I'm trying to say. When you lose out on something that you worked really hard for, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to be sad. You're going to be discouraged for a little while. And maybe you're going to be a bit jealous of the person who did achieve whatever you wanted to achieve. And that's all fine. That's all part of being human. But the person who is a gracious loser will process these feelings, and rather than internalize them, once they process the feelings, they're going to be able to objectively look at the winner and say, yeah, they were better than me. They deserve to win. And rather than wallow in the loss, they're going to develop an action plan to get better at whatever they're trying to do so that they can do better next time, and maybe they'll get closer to being number one next time. But the big thing is that the gracious loser is not going to attach their self-worth to winning all the time. They will still see themselves as worthy, whether that is happening or not. However, on the other side, the resentful loser is someone who will push their feelings aside in order to find someone to blame for the loss. So they won't be able to look at the winner's skills objectively. They're going to look at the winner and insist that they lost because somehow the world is out to get them. And they will wallow in their loss, which is going to create feelings of envy and self-loathing. So in order to combat that, so that we don't end up with those feelings of envy and self-loathing, we are going to proudly declare we're number two. And we do this because we don't want to live with a scarcity mindset. We don't want to live believing that we'll never have enough, or that we'll never be enough. And that scarcity mindset does not allow us to serve others. And as I already said, we need to be able to serve others in order to balance out the scale of accolades and ego. So that's the first reason, is you want to be a gracious loser. The second reason to adopt the we're number two mindset is to realize that your best is dynamic. Or in other words, it's constantly changing. One reason it's constantly changing is because you're going to continue to learn and grow your whole life. So your best is never going to be the same on any given day. It will be always changing. The second reason that your best is dynamic is because you're going to have off days. Everybody does. So once you realize that your best is dynamic, that it changes, you can push yourself to do your true best. And not what society tells you is best, not what your ego tells you is best, but what you feel is your best effort. Then there's the other side of this realization, that you're going to have some off days, because we all do. There are days that we're emotionally drained, we're physically drained for whatever reason. We're sick, we get injured, whatever it might be. And it's okay on those days to lower that bar a little bit. Make that bar of what your best is a little lower than normal. And repeating we're number two, repeating that mantra is going to remind you of that there are days you can set the bar lower. In addition to that, when you realize that your best is dynamic, it will help you become more self-aware. And as you become more self-aware, you will become more confident. You won't be linking your self-worth to this set standard of excellence that might be in your head. And that's going to lead you to feel more fulfilled. You will be more open to being of service to, no, you will be more open to being of service to others. There we go. And again, that's going to balance out the scales for you, the scales of accolade and ego. So that's the second reason. The third reason to adopt the we're number two mindset is that you will begin to value staying curious. And of course, staying curious is a huge deal to me because it's one of the components of the cycle of deliberate thinking, which I created. And it is also something that I say at the end of every video and every audio. It's something I've begun putting at the end of all of my posts now too, is stay curious. And so yeah, I think staying curious is kind of a big deal. But by adapting the we're number two mindset, you acknowledge that you don't know everything, that there's always something more to learn, and it shows that you're more focused on the journey of bettering yourself than on the destination of becoming the best and the destination of being number one. Also, when you adapt this mindset of staying curious, you will begin to appreciate other people's points of view more. You will begin to appreciate the privileges that you have, the strengths that you have more. And all of this will feed your desire to be of service to others. And as we've already said, I've already said it 3 times, now here's the fourth. Being of service to others is going to help balance the scales between your ego and your accolades. So the only question then is, are you ready to adopt the we're number two mindset? To balance your accolades and your ego, to applaud others without feeling jealous or envious, to have a mindset of abundance and gratitude. If you're not sure if you're there yet, go ahead and check out our worksheet. I put a worksheet together for you to help you deliberately think this through, to help you develop this mindset. And here we go. Until next time, stay curious.